business and founders of the Extreme Customer Service Directory, Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer, are inspiring you to get your business right. They know the customer experience isn't just another thing, it's the only thing. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show, home of positive business talk. And this is really where we empower you to build your brand. And why not give you a little something, get you some results right away?
Let's turn that book into a money maker.
Wait, what?
You know, I think a lot of times when we set out to publish our book, we think that we're going to make all sorts of money. And somebody's going to give us a signing bonus, and we're going to make all sorts of money. We're going to sell 1 million copies,
right?
And our book is going to be this incredible revenue generator for us. And it can be. The challenge is most of us don't set it up to be an incredible revenue generator. We think that we write our book, people are just going to want to read our book. And unless you have a large audience and you've kind of got that star power to start with, most of them will put your book on their shelf.
Well, you know, it's interesting to hear that. Rob Kosberg, who is now a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur, he's a member of the Oracles, and the founder of the bestseller publishing, he went out and got himself his first $1 million year in a down economy.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And he did it pivoting his knowledge into a book to reestablish himself in a new industry.
And here are the tips how he recommends you create $1 million in revenue using your book. The first thing he says, it's more than what you know.
Absolutely. He says, too many people take an autobiographical approach to their book, writing what they know. Mm-hmm. He calls that the Kim Kardashian conundrum.
Ooh.
He says, instead of that, consider the worries and aspirations of the people that you want to help. How can your experiences guide someone facing a similar situation? Don't underestimate the value of your expertise. It sounds an awful lot like find out what they want
and give it to them.
Give them that.
Give them that, right? You know, so often we want to vomit. I've learned this and I know that and I'm an expert in and I've studied and I've researched and these are my results. So what? What's in it for me? Tell me what I want. Tell me what I need and just give me that. If it's results focused on helping your consumer, this is going to turn into a revenue generator for you.
All right. Number 2, transform the pages into lead generators. When penning your book, he recommends adding sections containing additional resources for readers to further engage.
Right? He says, put next steps in each chapter. Checklists, cheat sheets,
downloadable stuff.
I remember getting a book one time, had all these QR codes in it.
Yeah.
That you got all this insider information kind of behind the scenes and what to do next. And here's quizzes for you and here's charts for you and here's templates for you. And of course, you're going to go online and use the tools because we know that there's more. So transform those pages into lead generators that are going to take them off the pages and into your process. He says, publish on a digital platform.
Oh,
right? It has built-in distribution.
Right.
So you don't have to be the distributor of your book.
This is what we did. When we self-published our book, we went through a process. Amazon is a company called CreateSpace, right? In CreateSpace, it's all digital. Our book is out there. We have 7 books that are out there now. And guess how much it costs us to print them? Nothing.
Right? You want the book? Amazon will print it and they will send it to you. Absolutely. And then they send us a royalty for that. So use your book to build your platform instead of depending on a platform to sell it.
Yes.
Amazon's got the book selling piece down.
Yep.
You don't have to be a bookseller. Let them do what they do best. So use a digital platform.
All right. Put yourself behind the promotion.
Position yourself as an expert. So, I mean, you think I wrote the book and now I'm done?
No, you just got started. This is where the real heavy lifting comes into place. But you have friends who can help you do the heavy lifting. Press releases, blogging, podcasts. How about radio? It reaches a huge swath of people. And you say, well, how many does it? It doesn't matter. More than you can reach.
More than you're reaching right now. How about that? anytime that you are you publish a book, you want to do a media tour. And so that media tour is online, on radio, and in person. You think about doing book signing events, you're doing radio tours, radio interviews, you're speaking all over the country, or even just locally to groups to get your book noticed.
And think about this. Remember, we talked about adding little incentives, downloadables, and things like that, so that you take your paperback book and head off into the digital sphere. What if you were to offer your book in its complete nature, as it is written, with the links hyperlinked in digital format? So you download the book, maybe sell it for 99 cents for the first 2 weeks or during your campaign or whatever. Now, not only do they have the digital version of the book, but when they go through it, they've got the hyperlinks, and it makes it easy for them to find you.
The tools and the resources are out there for you to get your book out. And so writing the book is phase 1. Marketing that book is phase 2. And now we're coming into phase 3, right? We want to use this book to generate revenue. So you want to convert your book into PR and speaking opportunities.
Absolutely.
Right? You're no longer just a random, I kind of know some stuff. There's a high demand for published authors on radio shows, television, and speaking events. And so once you have that out there, you establish yourself as the expert. Opportunities start to open up. And every time you speak on one platform, speaking on other people's stages, what do you think happens? You get invited to speak on other stages as well. And so turn your media engagements into leads. Always have a next step, a call to action. Getting your book, and what's in the book? What's the next step? What's the call to action once they bought your book to get them into that lead generation? We think, well, they'll buy it. They'll buy the book. They'll buy my program. You have to tell them.
You have to tell them that it's out there. Ultimately, your book can launch a career, can generate leads, it can position you in an industry, and that's what everybody really wants, is to be positioned as an influencer in their industry. But first, you've got to write it. So write your book. And I love his words because it repeats and validates what we said earlier in the program. That is this. He says, our average client wanted to write a book for years, sometimes even decades. Instead of waiting for the perfect time, Koseberg, a millionaire many times over, says, take imperfect action now. When you do, you'll be writing your future success.
Take imperfect action now. Don't wait for it all to be perfect. Don't wait for it all to be lined up. In fact, I had somebody said to me just recently, talking about their speaking event, saying, well, I guess I got to write a book. And I said, well, the weekend's coming up.
The weekend's coming up.
Right? You can get it out there.
People think, how could I possibly get a book done in a weekend? Angel, you've done it.
Ask me how.
Right?
Ask me how. If you truly are interested in how to get your book published, we have a program. We actually can send you the downloadable link of a webinar that we put together on how you can get published. So just reach out to us right here on this. If you go to our Facebook wall, check on the video on how to turn your book into revenue.
Yep.
And you're interested in our fuller version of how to become a published author within the next few weeks, that we can send that off to you.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at it like, can we do that?
Yeah. It's already done. So
I know we created it. It's done. And so we'd be happy to help you. That's what we're here for, to empower you to build your brand using media, and nobody does it better than you.
And you put this into perspective, and are you going to see the same results as this millionaire? He said, the title of this was how to make over $100,000 a month from writing a book. Are you willing to do the work? We had a guest on earlier talking about our physical fitness. She says, people come up to her and say, how do I lose weight? I will tell you exactly what to do in order to lose weight. Yeah, but I don't really want to do that. Are you willing to do what it says here? And listener Nick says, I really think it depends on your book. Well, sure it does. But if you go back to the fundamental, listener Nick, where it says, find out what they want.
What they want. It's not just about what you want to talk about, what you want to write. It's what's in it for them.
Yeah. Consider the worries and aspirations of the people you want to help, and then go ahead and give your knowledge, but from that angle. And that angle makes all the difference in the world.
You know, I think we've got to get into the results for the client, the results for the end user. So much about our website, so much about our presentations, and so much about what we do is because this is what I want to share.
Yeah.
You know, I know I had somebody who came on, they're like, Angel, I just want to come on. I want to be controversial on the radio.
Oh.
That's great. But you will not collect clients that way.
No, you will isolate clients.
So we have to remember, if we are in it to create revenue, we have to have results for the end user.
All right. Well, thanks to listener Nick for chiming in and tuning in. We appreciate that. Thanks to listener Dawn and listener KZ. We love you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you very, very much. We'll be back right after these messages. Angel and Eric, this is the Experience Pros.
America's home for positive business talk. You're listening to the Experience Pros radio show. Contact them on the web at experiencepros.com.
KDMT, Denver's Money Talk 1690 AM.
Hi, I'm Cody, and this is Mac.
Yep, that's me.
We're spokesbearers for the Honey Smoked Fish Company.